In this lesson, we'll cover evidence user preferences. So I'm going to select evidence user preferences from like the main lobby of evidence where we select our cases. So what do I want my preferences to be? Do I want to include subfolders when using select folder to add files? Do I want to include subfolders? Maybe I want that as a default, maybe I don't. So we could choose whether or not to have that. Do I want to allow duplicates or not allow duplicates? I have mine to not allow duplicates. And then when I import, it's going to have that red dot with the X through it for things that didn't import. And I'll have a log. Or I can allow documents with duplicates, and then it can either put a dupe at the end or an incremental suffix. If you're going to choose this, I highly recommend putting dupe because then it's easier to kind of find which ones were duplicates, where the incremental suffixing can kind of get lost with like page numbering and stuff like that. So go with dupe if you're going to allow dupes. Process documents as a batch, so instead of going 1, 2, 3, it can go based on smallest to largest. It depends on how you want that processing to go. Default annotation colors. If you don't use a red arrow all the time and you usually use a green arrow all the time, set that to your default so you don't have to keep changing it. Display options for your issues hierarchy or flattened. Do you want your question shown in bold or your answer shown in bold? Obviously, if you have both of them selected, it's going to be hard to tell which is which and it nullifies it. Do you want unspoken text in italics or not? Objections, do you want them red, pink, blue, purple, whatever color you'd like? If you turn on transcript scrolling, so play along the video, highlight the text while you're in evidence, do you want it to be a certain color and how many lines? Clips. Confirm name and description when creating new clips. So when we create a new clip, it comes up with that dialog box. Remember, it had item ID and description. Do we want that box to come up? Do we want it to have a already pre-formatted name? We can use all these tokens available. Segment creation options. Do we want these to do some manually cutting? So do we want it to automatically split segments if there's a multimedia break, preventing any like little skipping or glitching? Split segments to exclude objections. Do we want those automatically excluded or do we need them kept in? Excluding silence. If there is a large gap of silence in our clip, do we want it to cut out some time? I have mine set to a threshold of 15. It can go all the way down to 1 or maximum 30. So if there's 15 seconds of silence in there, it's going to catch that 15 seconds, split the segment so that way it doesn't have those 15 seconds of silence. If there's 20 seconds of silence, still only going to catch or crop out 15 seconds. I'll need to take those other 5 seconds out myself. In that group of 20. If it's 14 seconds, it's not going to see it because my threshold's 15. So be mindful there. Clip finalization, once you push that finalize button, do you want it to close clip, move to next clip, or do nothing? And then clip media playback, clip duration, or the parent media duration, whichever you'd prefer there. Layouts, this is where you can edit or remove your layouts. Now, edit, I mean by edit the name, not edit which explorers you have open or the area in which the explorer opens to. This is editing your name of your default layout or 6.8 layout, making it the default versus not the default, or you can remove them. So if you're not going to use this patents one, you could remove it. Export, if you are going to export data from here, what comes with it, right? And then we do have hotkeys over here in user preferences in the evidence module, not just preferences for presentation. So these are all your options. If you need to change something like this to Alt-C or Alt-D or Alt-Q, all you have to do is select it and then put in the new Alt button or Control button. We can reset to default, so we can put it back to Alt-OEM+. We can clear it if we don't want that at all. And then we can also show a notepad so we can print or save to our desktop. And that is evidence user preferences. Thank you so much for attending.